Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here. I really hope that you can see and hear me. This is a very important moment to me. You know, I'm always talking to you about the same subjects: love and peace, freedom, joy in life. And then when I hear people talk the opposite as being the way, it bothers me. And so I come and share with you what I'm being fed to share with you. And I've been doing this for quite some time. I've sacrificed, what? I don't think I've had a real job making any money since maybe something in the 80s, early 80s. Since then, if I had a gig, it was maybe washing dishes when things got so tight it seems I was going to really go under and I wanted some change. The only other time I worked, I guess, and got a wage was when I was in Stillwater Prison, trying to draw attention to the same things that I'm talking to you about today. And I got a job in there as a cook. And right now, that's just what I'm saying. You mean something to me. And in order for me to keep on the good foot, I have to know exactly what I'm talking about. And I'm not as low as people can go, but I'm low nevertheless. And being this low, I can speak to you about what's happening down here and what's you better do to keep from coming down here. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, heard some preacher. He was at a Republican gathering. And I heard this preacher stand up and he said something about Donald Trump being so related to God and meant. And it made something inside of me start boiling. Because for some strange reason or not, I don't know what, we always carry ourselves to believe that black people are more connected to God than white people. Because black people, while they're not perfect, they're a long way from perfect, but they try to adhere to some of the principles of what God is all about. But it seems as if white people just don't care about any of it. And I know that there are whites that do care. It's just that the way white people conduct their action over people of color, black people, is presented to us as if you don't know a God. And when we sit up and hear another black person stand with you advocating for God the same way you do, it makes us want to puke. It makes us just want to puke. And now I feel so bad about this brother I heard say something, I won't even mention his name. And ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that I am not a genius. I don't profess to be a genius. I know that sometimes you call people geniuses. You call a person a genius when they can do something and understand something that's very difficult for you to do or understand. And so that must be a genius because you couldn't do it. You don't understand it. And you say, when I talk to you and the things that I share with you and your response to it, it makes the same thing associated with me. Because what I'm saying, you don't hear it. What I'm doing for you, you don't see it. Now, do you care? The thing about the other geniuses, you like them. You recognize their genius. Maybe you do know what I'm talking about. Because, yeah, you recognize their genius and you can exploit it. But the genius that I bring to you is not my genius. And you cannot exploit it. And you know you can't exploit it. So you got to stop it. Man, oh man, let me talk to you about something, ladies and gentlemen. Look, you've heard it said. I heard somebody interviewed on the television the other day, same time I heard this black guy talking. And she was this young white lady, mega lady. She was saying that God is using Trump, even though Trump might not even know it. Trump is holy. She said, well, don't Trump lie and stuff like this. She just said no. Wait a minute. No, she didn't say no. She said yes. But God is using him, even though he might not know it. Now, that, to me, that was a legitimate statement. Because God is in Trump, using Trump. Now, Trump is being used by something else. But God is no fool. So those who are led by the Spirit of God's love can see Trump and see what he's being used for, how God is using him. God is using Trump the same to show us, the same way he used George Floyd to show us about the system and the power of the system over people that they don't care about. They're justifying all of the pain and suffering that you got to go through in this life and asking you, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to go down with Trump? Or are you going to stay here in the status quo as you've always been? Are you going to be satisfied with that again? Or are you going to rise up to the highest heights? Listen to me, ladies and gentlemen. So Trump is God's man, and he's the Republicans' man. You know, the Republicans say we cannot go forward without Donald Trump. The people have rejected him. The people of this country have rejected him, but we as a party cannot go forward without him. And so even though he's done everything to be as what's the word? Okay, as ugly as he could possibly be, we're going to still try to stick with him. Ugliness is going to be our style. Now, let me ask you something, ladies and gentlemen. What God lies? Satan. What God steals? Satan. What God hates? Satan. What God is a racist? Satan. What God is a con? Satan. What God is a bigot? Satan. What God hates blacks and people of color? Satan. What God offered the taking of the natives' land? Satan. What God offered blacks as slaves? Satan. So now whose man is Trump? Satan and the Republican Party. Now that's what they said. And this, what we just mentioned here, is what we understand as being demonic, as being evil. Now, but I want to ask you this. Who claims the God of love? Tell me, who claims the God of love? Who claims, or who is the God of peace, should I ask? No, I'm going to ask you again, because you definitely don't know who the God of peace is. But let me ask you, who claims the God of peace? You know the answer? I'll tell you, no one. Who claims the God of prosperity? Now let me redo that, because I got this feeling that some of you want to answer this a different kind of way. But let me ask you this again. What God is for peace that you claim for all? No one. Who claims the God of prosperity for all? No one. Who claims the God of freedom for all? No one. Who claims the God of joy for all? No one. Who claims the God of dreams being fulfilled for all? No one. Well, let me ask you this. Whose God promises food, clothing, and shelter for all, never being without? Who claims that God? No one. Who claims a God that guarantees unlimited and unrestricted education for all? Who claims that God? No one. Who claims a God for health care for all, from the womb to the tomb? Who amongst you claim that God? That's a beautiful God. Who claims that God? No one. Who claims the God that is for careers of choice for all, whereby all of the things that you just had promised to you can be made fulfilled, because you, the people, are exercising the gifts that you have been given. You are grasping the gifts that have been put before you and bringing them back and producing all of the things that you need, all of the things that you want, and all of the things that you desire. These things, my friend, you become part owners in, as a family, owning each and all stuff to access as you need, want, or desire. Owing no man nothing but a continuation of your love, and indebted to no one but yourself and love. And love is to all. Now, who amongst you claim that God? Now, you would agree, no one. Not a person. Well, I'm not going to say a person, because it might be a few of you out there doing it. But for all, no, you know what Trump doing. And you know what created Trump. The status quo created Trump. And now you're trying to get away from Trump by trying to expose Trump for all he is and hoping that those people on the other side will understand and reciprocate and come back here and join with you because they don't want to really be that bad. And if the people come over here and make a split up party, split the Republican Party, and now the Democrats might have the power to stay in another term, what is that going to do for you people of color? You still going to be living on the other side of the railroad track. You still going to be working your butt off trying to make a dollar so you can have some kind of life without hollering. You still going to be going through the strain because the system that you're living under, my friend, is guaranteed to continue exactly what it was designed to do. And if you want something different, you got to desire it and make it happen. So what I've offered to you, ladies and gentlemen, is God's way. Not the way of this country. The way of this country. You think I'm asking for this? For 400 years, that's what we've been going through. For 400 years, I don't want to sit down and talk to nobody about any kind of plan that does anything except set us free to do exactly what God has given us to do. Anything else, my friends, is unacceptable to me. And I want it to be unacceptable to you. Because as long as you accept this, it's going to be given to you by the garbage pail fool. Well, I want to thank you so very much for this 12 minutes you've given me. It's really been a pleasure. And I want to thank the almighty power that is out here for all of us. And I want to thank especially that potion that I'm able to pull in so I can share with you exactly what I have. Goodbye.